Hi, Peter Charles here, Hooked for Life Fly Fishing. And today we're going to do another West Coast fly called a Surgeon General. Now, according to lore, it was named after a neurosurgeon or a physician, not sure what, but a doctor is involved somewhere along the line. And this fly has multiple different kinds of dressings, and I looked through the list, I'm thinking, ugh, if I tried to put all the variations into the video, everybody would tune out like 10 minutes beforehand. So I thought, I'll do one dressing and just say that there are other alternatives out there. So if you've seen a Surgeon General that looks different from what I'm doing, it's just another one of the alternatives. So let's get started looking at the materials. I'm going to use a size 1 salmon single for a hook. My thread is 8/0 Veevus. My rib is a uni French oval in a medium silver. The tail is red saddle hackle. We're going to use purple chenille for the body. And more red saddle hackle for the hackling. And the wing is Pearlescent Krystal flash. So let's get going. As usual, it's a chenille body, so we don't have to get fussy. Just bring it back to the hook point. Okay, at this point I'm going to tie in my tail. You could tie in a tag here if you wanted, but I've seen the pattern with and without, so we're not going to bother this time. We're just going to put the tail in. Okay, now we'll tie the rib in underneath. And now for our chenille. You can see as usual, I've pulled off a bit of material to create a tying in point. Okay, let's wrap this all forward. Okay, the first turn we're going to turn on tight with the bump, and then we're going to back off and just wind forward. Just bring it up on the return. With this particular fly, you don't need to leave a lot of room because the hackling is not complex, neither is the wing. Okay, now for the rib, just a loose turn to the back, don't move your tail. Now come forward. Now the hackle, as you can see I've stripped one side and I'm just going to trim off a tying in point. This particular hackle I'm using right now, as you can see, it's fairly sparse, so I'm going to put in a little bit more than I usually do to make up for the fact that there's very little web in this. It's all spiky, and depends on what you want. I mean, different ways to do this. You could do it with a very webby, soft hackle, or you can make it very spiky. I'm going for the spiky look today. Now when you tie hackle in front of chenille, it tries to stand straight up because of the chenille. So just take your time in brushing it back. You don't want to trap any barbs underneath the turns. Put a couple of soft wraps at the back. Now for our Krystal flash. Now if I was tying a lot of flies, I would take this and just cut it in the middle and use it for 2 flies. I'm going to do that even though I'm just tying one. I just wanted to show you the fact that you can be economical with your materials. So now I take that bit by the halfway point and use that to tie in. You could even do this one. This wing is so small you could even do it in thirds if you wanted to. Now the ends are kind of ragged, which is I like. I don't want a really blocked off, cut off look. So you see, I'll push that back and I'll trim it off kind of irregularly. So this creates a kind of an irregular look to the ends of the wing, so it gets a little bit more of a flutter when it goes through the water. So now we'll just finish off the head, a soft wrap at the back, bring it forward. Okay, now we whip finish. Okay, now for some head cement. Okay, there we go, the Surgeon General. Now, a couple of things I wanted to point out about this fly. I used a very sparse type of hackle that had very little webbing in it. It didn't, make a big, bold red statement at the front, but because those hackles are stiff and don't have a lot of webbing, they'll vibrate in the water. So it's a choice. You go with the softer, webbier hackle that is, shows up more, or you go with something that's spikier and stiffer, but sparser, and you get that vibration. These are the sorts of little things we can play with. You use what you think works best for you. We have to have confidence in our flies. So if you use a dressing style that works for you, do it by all means. You don't have to copy exactly what I'm doing, especially on this fly. I mean, there's so many variations on the dressing. I mean, we can spend half an hour doing it. But anyway, that's the basic pattern of the Surgeon General. And, purple, red, wow, that's a color that works. And I love, pearlescent crystal flash. So give it a try. Cheers.